Well, hello everybody. I'm on my own this morning. Not sure if I'm getting this streaming through the page just yet. Nor do I know how to unpause the chat. I clearly am not doing this. Advance, create, we're live. Should be live. Hey, Nate.
Hello, hello.
I followed the steps here.
Oh, I forgot.
Start the stream.
I forgot I was leaving you on your own to follow the steps. I probably should have. Oh, sure.
I don't think it's going through the page. Click chat pause slider. I don't see these sliders.
Let's check, see where we're at here.
Maybe settings. Oh, start the stream in settings. All right, let's do this.
There we go. Start the stream. Okay. You just clicked it?
All right, chat options. Unpause chat. How are we looking? How are we looking? Is the stream working, everyone?
All right. Well, let's see. I think it looks like it's streaming to me, so I think we are good to go.
Sorry about that, everyone. We have a Dave Mound is out this morning. Had an appointment, so it was up to me to open the stream here. And as you can see, I was having a little bit of trouble, but we got to figure it out.
Sorry, I shouldn't have showed up at 10:01 there. I kind of forgot that you were on your own.
I was making last minute tweaks to my presentation today, and I was just like, oh, I'll enter at 10 o'clock on the dot, and then I remembered, I'm like, oh shoot, the room's not open. I gotta go do it.
Well, we figured it out.
No song for you guys today, sadly. No song.
We could sing it together to kick things off.
I think they'd probably prefer we don't.
But yes, no, we're not sharing the screen. You should just see our faces for right now. And how about another fantastic open? More profits locked in. How many of you guys got filled on automated options this morning? Should have hit on that with a nice juicy winner on the Qs. Flo said he got filled on overnight options as well. I'm not sure I did get filled on overnight. Did you guys hit your overnight option target?
You should, right? Market's up nicely.
Yeah, but it did sell off a little bit at the end of the day. So I think I was 1 penny short on mine. But yes, okay. You know what? I wonder if I sometimes I do this where I put my target a penny higher just to make sure I'm not kind of like front running people.
Right.
And it is sometimes a penny difference. So maybe some folks did who are at. Okay, so some of you didn't. Okay. So some of you are in my wagon yet. Flo, who has the official trade tracker because he's now the one who is putting the official data in, got filled. So he hasn't marked as a win right now. Hopefully we have a no doubter here so we can stand behind that one because I know on my personal side I got filled a little bit later and didn't actually get filled, but cool. Well, you guys should also got filled on automated options this morning as well. So kind of a double whammy this morning, which is pretty fun. Locking in some pretty juicy profits there. Graham, I know a lot going on here, and
I thought I was sharing my screen this whole time, and I wasn't. I'm hopeless. I'm helpless without Dave here. Totally helpless.
I know we have a lot going on. I don't want to cloud everyone with a whole bunch of housekeeping. But I did mention to Steven that I would recommend everyone show up to trivia night on Tuesday. So Steven,
did you already do one, or is this the first one coming up?
This is the first one. I have like $1,000+ in prizes here for trivia night on Tuesday. So we are planning on doing that. Hank, yeah, did it says right there, buy BE 77, sell BE 82. That's the ticker right there at the beginning, sir. But anyway, I said I will make sure that people are aware of it. So if you guys want to jump in for trivia night, over $1,000 in prizes, there is a little link right there. I popped it. We're just gonna have some fun. Steven and Dave are gonna have some fun together. Go over some questions about the overall market. I think they even have some about some gurus. So Graham, hopefully we don't get any embarrassing questions asked about us. But check that out, guys. It'll just be a fun time, just kind of community-based thing that we wanted to put on for you. So click that link there. Now, Graham, the other thing that I wanted to just quickly mention is that I think I cracked the code on something pretty cool with profit pairs. So I mentioned yesterday I was kind of working in the background on some software, like we've been doing so much of, and I think I got something way even more impressive than I anticipated when I started that project that I kind of cracked yesterday. So I'm gonna have to put that one a little bit closer in the pipeline and rush order the chance to show you guys what I put together for that, because I think it's pretty sweet. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys all the time with new ideas, new strategies, more I would say upgrading strategies these days than anything else, but pretty excited about that one.
Very exciting. We've got a lot of, you said no, we're gonna keep it light on the housekeeping today. I actually have something too that I totally almost forgot to mention that I mentioned yesterday. Cynthia asked about it in the chat. Sunday night, 7 p.m. I've been working on this all morning. My brain is fried from looking at data and charts. We're going to have an action-packed meat and potatoes class, if you will. It's going to be a full-on training. It might go a little over an hour. I'm going to try and keep it around an hour for you guys because I want to watch Sunday Night Football. I'm going to do a full training class on historical data, patterns, leveraging analytics, all sorts of stuff, how it all comes together. Actually, I have a fun little chart for you. Let me see if I can find it. Has anyone seen National Treasure?
Of course. Nicolas Cage is the greatest actor of all time.
This is gonna be us on Sunday night. This is us Sunday night. We're gonna put our little spectacles on from Ben Franklin, put on a couple different lenses, and see what the market looks like. Not just from one lens, not from two, but we're gonna combine a couple different factors going on right now to try and get a good idea of where we think this market's headed. And it's gonna be an action-packed session. Lots of charts, lots of analysis. I'm also going to give you guys, I'm not supposed to do this. Team told me it's a no-go, but I told the team it's a yes-go. I'm also going to give you the full on-the-clock stocks calendar for October. So you see it blurred out here. Very, very powerful calendar. We're just looking at, again, historical data, trying to find an edge here. We've got an edge with the strategy. We're up $36,000 this year in the model portfolio, and that includes like a terrible spell during March when the markets fell off the cliff. Obviously, most stocks did too. I thought that was going to wipe us out. We're up huge this year, loving it. So I'm going to give you guys the full October calendar for free, as well as our overall outlook. In a spoiler alert, after I share the calendar with the picks, I'm going to show you how the newest software is going to work. We did the software upgrade with Apex, and my next project here was the On the Clock Stocks program. So right now, you just get a picture of a calendar every month. You can't even click it. You can take a screenshot of it. It's about all you can do with it. Now you're going to be able to click it. It's going to pull up the ticker with the chart, the information. This is my mock-up I made for the developers of how I want it to look. They're going to make it look prettier. But it's not just going to have the chart in average hold time and average return. It's going to use that data to then uniquely pick the best options for that trade. So here's silver. It would use that 24-day hold time. It would add 30 days for expiration just to give you some more buffer. It would give you a basic call option. It would also give you an income play. This is new for me. I typically don't do the conservative income plays. We're adding these in for if you want to do a conservative play for 25%, moderate play 50%. I'm also going to include the wrap order, half target debit. That's basically my elite trade or max ROI debit spread. So you're going to have the complete power here to come into the calendar now, click on it, and have the options that best fit you. I know some people love those income style plays. They love it. That's why I wanted to have it in there. Some people can only trade level 1 call options. It's in there. Some people, maybe like me, like to go for a little bit more meat on their move. 100% returns are bigger, and that's why I got those wrap orders. 150% spreads, 200% spreads in the bottom. You're going to click that. It's all going to be automated in there. And not just that. Right now, guys, with the calendar you get every month, I have to manually go pull the data, go at it myself. It's tedious. It's painful. But we did the best we can. Thankfully, I've got a great team that can help out. But now I'm not going to have to do it anymore or manually anymore. We've got the AI data feeds plugged in, which again, Nate, the tally's over $300,000 a year. We're paying for this right now.
Well, and I just got news that we need more.
Cool.
We're
keep
up in that bill
higher.
all the time. We're up in that bill all the time, but I'm pretty excited about this in particular. Hey, if all it does is give you that beautiful chart there with all those options, it's worth it.
I think so too. It's pretty awesome. So again, here's what our calendar looks like right now on the left. I try and give you guys 5 to 10 picks a month that I manually have to go source. And this is just a sample chart. So just don't go trade any of these stocks on the dates you see here because it's just a sample. But it's going to make the calendar look like that to now looking like this because it's automatically sourcing these tickers, these trades. It's going to find more and more opportunities that I just frankly do not have the time to find on my own. It's going to be stinking awesome. Of course, if you're already a member, doing the best I can to hook you up, give you the best experience possible, you're going to get the upgrade for free, just like the Apex members did. It pays to be a member here with Nate and I hope you guys can see that. We want to give you guys the best experience ever, and we always want to just keep improving on that. So you guys hopefully are going to love it. Again, it's going down Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to start off with the first 45 minutes is going to be a full-on training session. You're going to want to take lots of screenshots. I'm going to cover a lot of data, a lot of charts that you might just want to put in a folder so you can review them every year. They're charts that you can just pull out every single year. And then we're going to look at some more timely charts for October. Again, we're going to put on our Nicolas Cage spectacles, look through a couple different lenses and try and get an idea of what's going to come next. And then I'll give you the calendar for free as well.
And Graham, I correct me if I'm wrong. Would this be the first time that you've actually ever given the full training, like behind the scenes, how you do seasonality? Because I know you often give seasonality picks and some charts, but I've been around you for the last 8 years or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen like the behind the scenes. This is how I actually do it from the ground up.
I would say yes, but we did probably about a year ago in opening Playbook have a full seasonality training. Of course, only the OGs, the people who've been hanging out for over a year now, probably saw that. We've got about 500 more people showing up each day than we did back then. So for most people, it will be new.
Nice.
With that said, today I'm going to do something totally different. And I know we just spent 15 minutes there of housekeeping. There's no sign-up link for Sunday night, guys. You're just going to want to be in Telegram. And that's where we'll post the alert for the event Sunday night. Linda, it will include cushion, yes, for the income plays. All right. 7 p.m. Eastern is Midnight Island will be recorded. Patrick, I'm going to record it. Yes, it will be recorded as well. All right, today, let's pivot a little bit today. We had some folks last week ask about Newton. What is Newton? How does it work? I'm, again, going to break all the rules here. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm going to give you all of the rules behind Newton. So if you want to go rebuild it yourself, you can. It's like if I was Hershey's and made a secret chocolate formula and then listed it online in a recorded format like this is recorded, that you probably think that's pretty silly. Today, I guess I'm going to be a little silly and give you guys everything that's powering Newton. Newton, for me, is the best way to quantify momentum. So everyone loves to talk about momentum. They love to say, look, that's a high momentum stock. But what does that really mean? How do you know if it's high momentum? Because the chart looks nice? Because the curve is steepening? How do you know? Well, for me, each and every stock, kind of like with Apex, each and every stock has its own unique momentum readings. For example, we love trading O'Reilly here. But if you guys have been trading O'Reilly, does O'Reilly move at the same speed of like Micron or AMD or, I don't know, SMCI or a chip stock? No, an auto parts store is not going to move 5% overnight, generally speaking, which chip stocks normally do all the time regularly, right? They all move differently. So to say that a stock needs to be moving 5% or more per day to be in high momentum, well, that would not necessarily be true because O'Reilly can be a high momentum stock and not gaining 5% a day. Meanwhile, a stock like Oklo might actually be trading at low momentum if it's only moving 5% a day. So we need to quantify momentum by each individual stock's own unique reading. So again, I'm going to build this tool for you guys here live. You can check it out. You can rebuild it yourself. I'm not going to give you everything to make it as pretty as I made it, but I'll give you the basics. So if you want to follow along with the underlying strategy, you can. So over the last year or so, actually probably over a year now, I built out and live traded with a new tool designed to quantify momentum in a way we've never seen before. So you've probably heard me talk about Newton at some point in time over the last year. Its tool has single-handedly helped us get in early on GEV, which this screenshot's old. As you can tell, this screenshot was taken about a year ago. 1021. This was last year, and I was bragging about it last year. I still own this stock, but if you know anything about GEV, it's not at $280 anymore. It's at $607 as of today. 1 year later, not $280, $607. Thing's a beast. Anyways, Newton helped us get in on it. Look, red, yellow, green. We buy on green. It's just that simple. Oklo, look at this one. My second favorite energy stock, right behind GEV. Again, look, this screenshot was taken 10/18/2024. It's 10/2/2025 right now. Oklo, we picked it up at $8, right? It was at 18 when I took the screenshot. That's really, really awesome. Kudos. Guys, Oklo's at $117 now. It's up almost, it's up over 1,000% from this entry. It's up over almost 1,500% on the stock since its entry. Obviously, that's an exceptional return, but just to show you how good this is. I didn't even take the time to update these screenshots, and it's hilarious because these things are just rocketing. Another one for you guys. Look, this screenshot was taken at 9/24/2024. That was a little over a year ago when we first started trading gold with Newton because we popped green. 26.75 an ounce per ounce for gold. What is gold at this morning? $3,900. Woo. She just keeps going. All right. Not only has it helped handpick some of the incredibly and powerful investments we've been in lately, including swing trades that we've taken in the On the Clock Stocks Calendar program. We've been trading in the Perfect Bitcoin program. We've done it in in the NVIDIA Elite program. Newton is the core actual indicator behind NVIDIA Elite. But we've also done it for day trades, Kava, NVIDIA, Carvana. We have Jason M in the chat who just got access the other day. Jason, you said you're trading on bonds, right? I've never actually traded Newton on bonds. I can't remember the exact specifics of what all you said, but I know you were doing a great job kind of trading on tickers I normally am not looking at with Newton. Here's MicroStrategy, 42% on the options. By the way, side nugget here. I am very, 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 very bullish on MicroStrategy right now. I told you guys this about a week ago. MicroStrategy is just crossing above the 200-day moving average right now. And again, this is a total side note. But I do think Bitcoin's going to be red hot here over the next 2 months, 3 months. Here's MicroStrategy. It basically leverages Bitcoin's moves. Long story, they've got a big debt fund on Bitcoin here. Doing some crazy sort of bubble-esque deals going on. With that said, if Bitcoin runs, MicroStrategy is going to go crazy. Look here in Newton. It's not green yet, but as of today, it's on deck. Yellow means we're sort of on deck. We're waiting for that to pop green. It's almost above the 200-day moving average. This is just a side note for you guys. If MicroStrategy turns green here, if Bitcoin keeps going, I would go ahead and bet that it's, I can't say guaranteed, but it's practically guaranteed. If Bitcoin runs to all-time highs, MicroStrategy is going to 450. There's a decent chance it's going to all-time highs here at 550. This is at 350 right now. This thing could legitimately nearly double in the next couple of months. Just keep an eye on it. That's just a side fact for you guys before we keep going on today's training. All right. So today I'm going to walk you through how Newton works, why this works, and when to apply it to your trading. Plus, I'm going to give you some trades to take today as well. Oh, Jason, crude. Okay. So let's start with how it works. All right. This first section will be covering how to identify high momentum stocks in regards to swing trading, specifically swing trading. All right. On any time frame, this works 1 day, longer, 2 day, 1 week, 1 month, etc. Newton automatically updates based on 2 EMAs as the basis. So when we are looking at a chart that's 1 day or longer time period, so not like a 5-minute chart, not a 30-minute chart, not a 4-hour chart. If it's a 1 day candle or longer, here's the settings you are going to want to use. Your fast EMA, that's an exponential moving average at 5. Your slow EMA, that's again exponential moving average at 16. All right. So if you're on a daily chart, that's a 5 EMA and 16 EMA. If you're on a weekly chart, that's a 5-week EMA, 16-week EMA. All right. And here's how it looks on a chart if you don't have it hidden. All right. The light blue line is the 5 EMA. The yellow line here is the 12 EMA. So this is what it looks like on a chart. You can see, it looks good here. It crosses over. Not so good. You can see the red is my custom coded colors for Newton. So you wouldn't see that on a normal chart, but you can see here how it kind of works. Breakout green is buying time. Crosses over red is stay away time. Turns green again, buying again. But looking under the hood, you can see how the crossovers work here. Again, the 2 EMAs are the backbone. 5-day EMA, 16-day EMA. Again, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm going to reconstruct this whole thing for you guys today so you can walk away with the underlying nuggets of how it works. All right. Same case for the weekly charts, and the period automatically adjusts, right? So if we flip to a weekly chart, we're looking at a 5-week EMA over a 16-week EMA. I love weekly charts. I think it's one of the biggest hacks, if you will, in the stock market. Almost nobody talks about weekly charts, yet they are very, very powerful. I would even consider claiming that they are more powerful than a daily chart. Apex is proof of that. If you guys have used Apex, that's a weekly chart pattern, and it's just outstanding. I mean, look at NVIDIA this week. Did anyone take our Apex trade on NVIDIA this week? NVIDIA hit 190 today. It's at 190 right now, actually. Using weekly charts. Weekly charts are very, very, very powerful. And obviously, Newton works great on a weekly chart, and it automatically updates. So instead of 5-day EMA, when you flip to weekly, that'd be 5-week EMA. So that 5 and 16 combo is the backbone of our momentum calculations. Why did I pick 5 and 16? I'm not sure if it's even in this deck. I back tested about 100 to 150 popular tickers that we like to trade. And generally speaking, this one produced the best results. So we tested, 5 and 10. We tested 5 and 12, 5 and 15. We tested 8 and 16, 8 and 20, all sorts of different combinations. Over the, obviously 5 and 16 is not perfect for each ticker, but over the S&P 500, over the NASDAQ, the tickers that we frequently trade, 5 and 16 were the best combo. Now get this, just because the 5 EMA is above the 16 EMA on the chart, that does not mean we have an entry signal. That's a very basic way of trading. People wait for a crossover. They say crossover, we buy, right? That's not what we're doing here. The underlying basis is using the 5 and 16. It's using a crossover, but we don't just buy because they cross over. The secret sauce is in taking the difference of the 2 EMAs, right? The delta, if you will. So in order to get a higher than average momentum reading, we need the 5-day crossed over above the 16-day, right? So we definitely want that. But we also want to see an expansion of 1% or greater to give us a higher than average momentum. Now you can see it down here in the lower study. This is just quantifying it for us. So I hid the EMAs here, but you can see when it turns green here, these are going to be the same colors, top and bottom. But if you look here on the right, this is a percentage of the EMAs. So when it gets above 1% distance between the two, right? When the 5 EMAs at least 1% or more separated from the 16, that's when it turns green. So you can see here's a yellow bar. Yellow, this was a below 1% reading. It was still positive. The 5 was above the 16, but it wasn't making that gap just yet until the next day. Next day, triggered green. You can see here it pops above 1. You go long, you ride it out. All right. Same thing here. Look at this. This is kind of interesting. This is Carvana. The 5 EMA was above the 16. Hence the yellow. However, if you quantify it, the separation was not greater than 1%. It was less than 1%. All right. That's why it's important to know the difference. This tells us we're on deck. This does not mean enter the trade. This means kind of wait and see. It's on your watch list. Luckily, no green firing, and it worked out for you. It avoided a loss versus normal people trading a normal basic crossover would have gotten smacked. All right. So generally speaking, on red, you can short if it's a weak stock. That would be less than average momentum. That's the 5 is below the 16, which typically means it's just trending lower. I did put in parentheses here, if a weak stock. I really actually don't really love shorting altogether. It's very hard to do. Stocks like to go up. I showed you that fun fact from the Motley Fool the other day that over time stocks go up. It's just what they do. So shorting can be very tough. We took a short on AVGO the other day. That one's just getting smacked right now because it's a great stock and it likes to go up. But if you want to, you can short a weak stock here when momentum is red. All right. That yellow just means we're average momentum. It's just trading at a normal speed, a normal rate, and we're on deck. And then the green is obviously long. If we're in a strong stock, it means we're getting that expansion. It's moved at least 1% separation of the two EMAs and growing from there. Of course, and again, this may be covered in a bit. I can't exactly remember, but here you can see the expansion is increasing. This just means the distance between the two EMAs is increasing versus here you get some contraction, right? So it's still above 1% distance, but it's tightening up a little bit, all right? So here we get expansion, and then after that, this just means it's still good distance, but it's just starting to close up, so that momentum's slowing down. The candlestick colors automatically correlate. Again, this is what I've coded, coded into Newton. I'm not going to show you how to do this. We don't have the time today. I also think it's cool that I built it, and I don't want to give that out for free. But this is the underlying how it works. If you want to do your best to recreate it, or just add the 5 and 16 to your charts and calculate the difference yourself, you're going to get a similar reading. So what's really going on here? Well, Newton is not only calculating a short-term trend with the EMAs crossing over, but more importantly, we're looking at the acceleration of the move. And I think that's where you really can quantify momentum. For example, when it flips from red to yellow to green, like you see here, red below average momentum, yellow is average, flipping to green, that first green stick is pretty close to that 1% reading, right? Pretty close to being that 1% space that we want to have. Which makes it an above average momentum play. But here you can see the acceleration, that separation continues to the next candle, the next, and the next. Exactly what I was showing you just a moment ago. And look at how the stock explodes during that time period. This is the best time. It's like when the stock is ripe, you want to go pick it. All right. You can trade it here. You can enter here late, but you can see it's not as ripe. Took a little longer for you to make some money versus right when it flips is typically the best time. Same sort of thing here. I mean, look, red, yellow, green. This is your buy, and look how good that is. This one just kept on going, so no complaints there. But typically, right when it flips is the best time. So think of it like this. Think of it like an airplane that's about to take flight. So in the beginning, the airplane's on the tarmac. It's on the ground waiting to take off. There's no momentum. It's not moving at all. That's like our red momentum. It's negative, neutral overall. It's not the bus you want to be on at the moment. And not a time you really want to own the stock. But then the engine starts roaring a bit, right? And the plane starts to gain steam. That's like when the 5 EMA first crosses the 16 EMA. Momentum turns above average. We're gaining steam. We're getting some lift here. Things are looking good. And that's when you want to enter, right there on the runway when we're taking off. After that, the plane is ideally climbing, going faster and kind of making that arc upwards. And that's what we want to ride here with the above average momentum when the candles are green. That's when the 5 is above the 16 and the space is at least 1%. And then as the plane is starting to slow down, getting ready for landing, that's when we take our profits. So you can take your profits here on yellow, which just means we're back to average momentum. It's not a high momentum play anymore. We're back to average. Let's just go ahead and lock it in and find the next one. Another thing you can do, I'll talk about in a minute, if you want to be quicker with your trades, you just take profits on the first decreasing bar. So you would enter here, right? You would let it go. First one decreases right here. That's when you take your profits. So that'd just be a quicker version of the trade versus, or, the alternative here is to just ride it out for the whole long haul, which ultimately, like if you're an investor, pays more. It's, in my opinion, a better way to do it. If you're trading short-term options, maybe that's the way you want to trade right there. Now, here's how I personally prefer to trade it. My personal rules, again, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone depending on what you're going for here. But for bullish trades, right, long swing trades, swing is important. I'll walk you through the day trading version here in just a second. For bullish swing trades, you want to know the strong sectors, which we do every week on Tuesday, right? We're going to talk about that Sunday night at 7 p.m. actually. We're going to have a big teaching moment on why sectors are so important. Number 2 is where I just use the Newton long scanner. If you have Newton, I built you a scanner in Thinkorswim that alerts you anytime that there's a new stock that's just flipped positive that day. Makes it way easier. 3, you want to verify strong bullish trends. You want to ideally, you don't want to trade a stock that looks like a fallen knife. We want to trade a stock that's going that in a nice, beautiful trend higher and higher and higher. When it flips green, that's a really high conviction entry. You want to avoid holding through earnings. This is kind of up to user discretion, but I really just don't see the benefit of holding through earnings here. We are not looking at the options market to see what bettors are leaning towards. We're not looking at market maker move here to try and see if we can get an edge. This is a sheer pure momentum trade. The only thing that can really throw that off is earnings that we have no control over. We have no idea what's going to happen. It's just all speculation. So I would just, again, I'd avoid holding through earnings. This is not an earnings trading indicator. All right. Enter on the first screen. Again, like I said earlier, entering on the first screen is typically the best because you're getting that takeoff versus entering mid-flight, if you will. And take profits on first yellow. That's personal preference. Again, if you want to go for shorter term trades, you can just take profits when that first decrease happens. So I'll just show you here again. Like you enter here on green, you see it expanding. We're still positive momentum, but it just started to contract. You can just take your profits there if you want. That's a quicker way to trade it. All right. Again, you want to know the strong sectors. So you want to be trading a stock that is swimming with the tide. If we get a positive reading on, real estate right now, and real estate looks terrible, maybe don't trade that one. This is why you want to know your sectors off the bat. We only get, generally 5 to 10, maybe 15 stocks that fire a new signal each day. So if you know the strong sectors, if you're showing up on Tuesday morning and getting that information, you'll be able to immediately identify, okay, NVIDIA is a tech stock. Tech is very hot right now. Tech is also hot in October. That's perfect. Versus, in staple stock. Kroger is a good stock, but staples are kind of weak. That's just we're not being super congruent there with our analysis. Ideally, and this kind of is what Nate talked about with his profit pairs as well. Ideally, that stock is also a leader within that sector. That's good positive relative strength of one of the good stocks dragging that sector higher. Typically, high momentum stocks outperform the market by almost 2 times the returns. So if it's a good, strong stock over the long haul, that's a really, really perfect setup. Again, I cover this every Tuesday in depth. Next point here is if you have Newton, you can use the long scanner here. This will give you stocks on the first day of green entry. If you want to just rebuild this in Thinkorswim, again, I'm not supposed to tell you guys all of this. Just use the scanner tool in Thinkorswim and use your EMAs and distance code to get a scanner rebuilt. It's a little bit tedious. I know not everyone knows how to do that, but if you've been using Thinkorswim for a while, you should be able to recreate at least a version of this if you don't have Newton. But if you do, typically you get a list of 5 to 10 stocks on any given day. You sync it with your chart, right? You link it up and you just quickly flip through them. So again, we want to see stocks with very strong bullish trends. Here's Carvana. It's a little bit pretty volatile, generally speaking, but it's just how Carvana sort of trades. But if we look at the overall trend, beautiful trend, nice dips. You can see Newton flips. We have some positive, examples in the past that worked out in the past. Gives me some confidence. Beautiful chart. Flip screen again. I can take that one. Versus a chart like this, Marathon Petroleum here. Yes, it does flip green. Yes, that's higher than average momentum. Yes, it can be traded, but that's just not a high conviction entry. We're not seeing everything line up. We are swimming against the tide right here. All right, the tide is going down. We're trying to swim up. Again, you want to avoid holding through earnings. It can work out for you from time to time, but it's like a coin flip. Half the time it's going to work. The other half the time it's not going to work. And even worse is more often than not, the options will lose value on IV crush. So just avoid holding through earnings. And then a bonus here, a little bonus nugget for you here. And again, I think this may be one of the most overlooked things in finance. Very, very important thing to do. Confirm your trades with the weekly chart. The weekly chart, again, is one of the most powerful charts, if not the most powerful view of a chart in all finance for swing traders. It's not necessarily for day traders. That's a little bit different. But if you're swing trading a chart or a stock, I highly recommend checking the weekly chart. It's going to give you a good view. This is what we do in NVIDIA Elite. NVIDIA Elite, I use daily charts to find that green momentum, and then I confirm on the weekly chart. If we do not get confirmation on both, we do not take the trade. Yes, we have missed out on a few winners that way, but we have avoided a whole bunch of losers by using this double confirmation, using the daily and the weekly. So again, it's just a little bonus here, a little nugget for you guys, but I think it makes a world of a difference. Again, for the entry and exit, enter on first green, and you can sell on first yellow. This, in my opinion, is the best way to trade it for stock traders. Again, if you're an options trader and you want to go for quicker moves, especially if you're using basic calls or even debit spreads, I personally think that the best way to do it is just shorten up the time frame by using the expansion indicator below. So we're first green here. It's going up, 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 ticking higher, and then contraction happens here in the 13th. Take profits here. That's a nice little move. No one's going to complain about that. And look, yes, you missed out on some more upside, technically speaking, but as you know, with options, you probably would have eaten some more decay here, unless you're trading spreads. Then you're probably just absolutely crushing it, which is why we love spreads. But either way, if you can book profits quick here in 5, 6, 7 days, move on to the next one, I think that's pretty awesome. Again, to be clear, you can enter on the first green, sell on the first yellow, or again, alternatively, if you want to go for quicker swing trades, enter on first green, let it expand, expand, expand. It starts contracting here, sell on first contraction day. So you got a nice little move here in about a week and a half on progressive right here. So why do I prefer selling on yellow when swing trading? The thing is, you can always enter again. So some people, when they first got the tool, they were saying, well, I like to hold through yellow because it could turn green again, which is true. That's definitely true. But again, I just want to always be in the highest conviction entries. And again, they'll just dial up whenever it comes, whenever time comes. So here's AJG, went green to yellow. This one's actually kind of flat. You would have been fine holding through it. But during that time when AJG is yellow, you could have traded something else. Then AJG flips green again, higher than average momentum. You trade it here. Then it flips yellow again, trade something else. Come back here, trades green again right here. So we have plenty of opportunities on the stock. You don't have to necessarily, plenty of opportunities on the stock. You don't have to necessarily trade it the exact same way I do, but I'm just giving you guys general rules. If you want to, if you want to trade the stock, like GEV is a fine example here. If you want to trade the stock, you don't want to sell it and pay capital gains. Big reason why I have a hard time selling hardly any of my stocks ever. You just kind of hold through all of it. So like GEV flipped. I'll just show you. I'm going to show you the lower here to make it easier to see. So like GEV is a stock I owned for a while. I bought a bunch here at the tariff dip, loaded up. So it flipped green here, right? And it went for my stock. Technically, I would be taking profits right here. However, it's not in a tax protected account. So I don't really want to take profits. So I just flipped to a weekly and just said, you know what, for the stock trade, I'm just going to keep riding it as long as the weekly is green. So yes, it's been flat. It's not optimal for trading options. Like trading options, I would not be looking to hold through this. Look how good this is. Flips yellow here. Literally right here, it's yellow. Look how much GEV has moved since then. Hasn't. We had a couple of pops that went nowhere fast. And that would maybe gained a couple bucks. But generally just flat. All right, let me pull this back down. And yes, we are going to do some trades here in a minute. Trading to the downside, same sort of rules. Again, I don't love trading to the downside. It's much harder unless we're in a full-on like true bear market like 2022 where we're getting those swings lower. There's a big difference between that and like what we saw in April where it was just a flash crash of craziness. Every day was down like 5%. It's a little bit different than a true bear market. But if we're in a bear market, just know the weak sectors, which we do in Tuesday's class. Use the Newton short scanner. Verify weak trends. You don't want to be trading a stock going higher. Avoid holding through earnings. Enter on first red. Take profits on yellow. For example, like here, trading to the downside. You can see enter on red with puts. Exit on yellow. Again, you could also do the contraction to expansion. So look, expansion, 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 expansion. Here's first contraction. So you take profits there if you're swing trading with options. Enter on red again. And you can exit on yellow or contraction again. Here's our contraction, expanding, 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 contracting here. Take your profits. Again, you can jump in trades late. However, it does lower the overall profitability because you're catching a plane mid-flight. versus catching it taking off on the runway. So again, use that scanners. Let's go check out some stocks. And then I'll show you some day trading with Newton as well. Oh, I got to stop sharing my screen here. So if you have Newton, you flip on over to the long scanner. So what we got today. So again, it's not like we have a trillion stocks here. This is just filtered for S&P. Let's go ahead and take a look. AMD. This might be a good one. Chip stocks have been awesome. So look at this. Let me just go to the daily chart. If you look here at the recent trend, don't look back there. Recent trend, good solid trend. It's been lagging chip stocks. What do we know about tech? Does anyone know what we know about technology this month of October? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you've been paying attention. Technology right now is the #1 sector by strength. It's also the #1 performing sector in October. So this is like a win-win here. We've got Newton flipping green on the daily. Plane is trying to take flight here. Look, last time the plane took flight, it was at $95. Went all the way to 176. It doubled. A stock doubled. AMD, not like a penny stock, like a big company. All right. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen again, but I do think we can get a nice little wave here. So look, we have this exponentially increasing momentum here. My 200-day moving average is so low, you can't really even see it. And then, what did I say? We like to flip to the weekly just to get confirmation. Weekly is green. It's actually ticking higher week over week, which looks really, really nice. So I can go ahead and trade AMD. I'll type this up for you guys. We aren't actively really promoting Newton right now, as in like we don't really have a webinar for it. But Dave, if you don't mind, it's good to see you. Glad to see you're back. Was on the struggle bus this morning trying to get this thing rock and rolling. So glad to have you back.
So sorry to hear that.
If you don't mind just dropping the link to Newton.
Yeah, I will.
In the chat. I think it's $750 for lifetime.
Off a webinar special or off the regular price?
$649. I don't know what it is. Give them the webinar special. Give them the best deal we got.
All right.
All right. So AMD here. What you can do is if you want to trade basic call options, I like to go about 60 days out if I'm going to trade basic call options. So that would put me at the end of November. So you could use the November or December expirations, and I would just buy one strike at the money. I would personally go one strike in the money. It's just going to protect you a little bit more from time decay, but this is going to be expensive. This is not something I would I could go on for another hour and a half here of why I don't love call options. Hopefully you keep showing up week after week, and you'll kind of have that light bulb moment that a lot of people have, myself included, on why call options are no good. But if you want to trade call options here, basic call options, here is AMD, basic call option, and I lost my chat. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have to go to private browser again.
And you are on the struggle bus today.
I know. You left. You weren't here this morning, and my whole day just was ruined. All right. There we go.
I wish my kids felt that way.
So this one's $1,500. It's pretty expensive. What I would instead look to do is, again, we have a breakout here. What I like to do here on Newton is when we get these patterns, you can try to go long dated call options. What I would do is anyone in like the, if you've seen the wrap order training or the perfect income dollar options, what I would like to do here is just do weekly at the money wrap order over and over and over again, as long as Newton is green. You're going to win some weeks. You're going to lose some weeks. But if you only win 65, 70% of the weeks, you get some really amazing results. So that's what I'm going to do here. Obviously, today's Thursday, so I'm going to go next Friday's expiration here. Let's go to 10 of October. This is AMD again. Oops. I'm trying to type in my trade sheet, and the color's all weird. So what we can do here is just trade it week after week after week as long as momentum is above average. If it's above average, means it is still moving, still looking good, and we can just keep rolling those options if you want to call it rolling. It's just resetting the options each and every week, always shooting for around 100%, knowing that we just need to win more than 50% of the time to start making money. Ideally, we start living in that 65, 70% world. All right, so I'm going to type this one up for you guys. I should say buy and sell. That'd probably be helpful. So this is just an at the money wrap order, buying and selling, 2 calls at the same time. We got a full training on it if you don't have it. Here it is in the chat. It's trading at $1.20 right now, which means you make a little over 100% here if AMD gains about $1.50 over the next week. That's less than 1% on AMD. So AMD just has to get to 170. See my crosshairs? Just has to drift in that direction. We know right now it's getting exponential drift, which ideally can work out for us. Now the price just moved. It should fill. That's weird. There we go. 120. Filled at 120 right there. Holly, do I actually roll or take profit and place it in wrap? To me, there's literally no difference between rolling or closing a trade and entering a new one. It's the exact same thing. P&L is going to be the same. So whatever you want to call it, I technically don't like to call it rolling. I just call it expiration days here. We get what we got, then we're on to the next. All right, let's look at this next one here. FICO. This was not technically in the training, but obviously this is some sort of news-based jump, right? This is not a normal day. It's not earnings. I don't know what exactly happened. I've never traded this stock. Price target went up. I'm not sure. Either way, not a good trend. News-based move. Not loving it right here. Not going to trade it. Ugly trend here. PCG, right? We want a beautiful trend. That's not it. It's not it. You can trade those. That's not the way to go. Wow, Trade Desk has just been getting smoked. That was a really good stock for a while. VRTX, no good on the trend. So today, we in about 10 minutes, we're able to go through the Newton long scanner and find a really, really good trade. And the other ones that popped up in the scanner, they're just not high conviction. So we've got one trade on the books right now, and we can't complain about that. And again, any given day, like some days there's 2 stocks, other days there's 15 stocks that make it on the list. I'm almost out of breath. Now I'm getting my breath back. All right, here we go. Let's keep rolling. This is something, I don't know if Nate's still here or not, but this is something I want to try in the closing playbook. You guys know
You called?
Yeah. That's saying this is something I want to try.
Beetlejuice. Here he is.
I got to figure out a cool scanner for this. Oh, Mark, VRTX gap trade. I'll have to go look at that one again. Mark, you're on top of it. You are exactly right. It is a potential gap trade if we get a close above 415.30, Mark. Actually, 414.88 technically. Good eye. All right. I don't day trade a ton. I have my 60-minute income trade, which is just a mechanical little kind of anomaly in the market. When this happens, then typically this result happens. I don't really love discretionary day trading. However, I have noticed that with Newton, it's pretty darn powerful using the day trading portion of Newton. And that's something that actually on like penny stocks, which I definitely don't trade penny stocks regularly. Not my cup of tea there. But I have noticed that some of those cheaper stocks that I do like to look at, like even like BT or BITF or some of those other tickers that are under $10, the Newton day trading features are nuts with it. And I'm not even talking about necessarily trading options on it. Just trading the underlying is really, really good. So let's go ahead. I'll walk you through this here. Again, if you want to set it up on your charts, I'm giving you the Hershey's formula here. Now, I'm not mixing it in the bowl for you and handing you the chocolate bar. I'm just giving you the ingredients right now if you want to go make it yourself. But with the day trading code, and this is programmed into Newton, all right. Oh, Sean says in crypto is a loophole. I'll have to look at day trading crypto too. All right. The difference is, so remember, our base code is 5 and 16 as our EMAs. When we go under 1 day time frame, so if you're on a 4-hour chart, 30-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, whatever it may be, under 1 day, the code adapts to 5 and 30 as our key numbers for the EMAs. This tweak here helps us eliminate about 50% of the entries, right? It makes it a little bit tougher for it to flip to green because it's really got to get past that slower EMA with the gap. So other than that small change, though, everything else stays the same. So we still want the 5 above the 30 EMAs, and we want a 1% or greater expansion between the two. Now, I really like the 5-minute candles, but it technically works on any candle. When I back tested it, though, full disclaimer, I only back tested the day trading portion on the 5-minute candles. I didn't test it on the 1 minute, 2 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. I really like 5-minute candles, and they showed really, really great results. Funny enough, I don't know if it's in this deck. I think it's in the old presentation we had. I would back test like NVIDIA on the daily chart, and it'd be an 82% win rate. And then I would back test it on the 5-minute chart, and it'd be like an 82% win rate. That happens to so many stocks. It was like shocking. It's just so weird because we're talking apples and oranges, daily charts versus 5-minute charts, but it was showing almost identical win rates. All right. Anyways, rules to follow. If you want to day trade with Newton or with this high momentum approach, typically, again, you don't want to swim against the tide. Is the market bullish that day? If you're in the 60-minute income program, actually, this is looking great right now, but it's not even what I'm going to talk about at the moment. In the 60-minute income program, I hooked you up with the dashboard where we look at, this has worked out good. I can show you buy puts. We're doing good. We look at the VOLD, the ADD, and the tick. You can also add in VIX there too as another important metric. These are market internals that kind of tell us what's going on with the day, right? So this morning, all right, markets were higher, but you wait about 30 minutes into the open, all of a sudden VOLD is negative. It's below zero. The volume difference in the market, so total up volume versus total down volume on certain on the stock market is negative. Markets were falling, or they were still positive at the time, I believe, and then starting to fall. But VOLD is now negative. Advanced decline is now negative. Tick is kind of in the middle. Nothing really to look at there, but you can see down, down, down. This is actually in the 60-minute training. This is a good time to be day trading to the downside. All right, you can use Newton to do that. And you just go to the 5-minute chart, and you can find cool entries to the downside with Newton. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to give you the information, give you the nuggets here. So pretend that everything I just said was the opposite. VOLD was going higher, ADD was going higher, markets were going higher, things look good. You would want to then find stocks with the highest percent change, right? We want very volatile stocks for day trading. We don't want stocks that move 0.02%. There's not going to be any meat there. Highly volatile stocks, you ideally want it to be a good stock, and it should be outperforming the market. So if the markets are up 0.25%, you'd ideally want to be trading, let's say Google's up 0.5%. Google would be a good one. All right. Avoid trading earnings or news events like that FICO one. Probably not one you want to day trade. It's going to just be kind of skewed by news and just crazy orders going on right now. And then you can enter in first green, sell in first yellow, or just use that contraction that I was talking about earlier. So let me go see if I can go find a good example of this right now. Like, check this out. So I literally just went to my, I didn't even pull up, I didn't even pull up the active scanner. I just went to my list of active trades, stocks I trade a lot, right? So market turned red on momentum this morning in the S&P, flipped to ANET, right? The markets, I want to see a stock that's underperforming the markets because today we're red. ANET's grossly underperforming the market. If you use Newton, even if you waited till a little bit later, like 10 o'clock, like you take it short right in here, or you just wait for it to flip from green to red. That would be the optimal way to do it. Although today's a little bit interesting because I don't think you would have necessarily had that conviction to go short just yet with how the S&P traded. But if you did, look at this. Flips from green, and this is overnight hour, so it keeps this in consideration as well. So the data doesn't get skewed. Goes from green to red immediately at the open. Look at this. You buy puts on red, boom, all the way down here. I would just day trade it for contraction and expansion. So it starts to contract here, take profits here. That's not a bad move, right? Let's look at, I'm just flipping through stocks here. I've not looked at this. I did not pre-plan this. Here's market open on GE. GE is a great stock. Probably not my favorite one to short, but if you were going to day trade it short, look at this. Green. When we get a market setup, I'd probably wait for the market setup to happen first, but say it happened at 9:45 here, flips to red. Expansion, and then contraction here. So ideally, you enter on first red, and you take profits here. That's a nice, $2 move on GE. That's almost a 1% move in a couple of minutes on the stock, about 35 minutes on the underlying stock. I'm going to keep going. I, again, have not looked at these today. Check this out. Look at this. Let's pretend you didn't even look at the S&P 500. All right. Took Google short out of the gate. This one would have lost. You would have hit a loser here, day trading. But then Newton flips green. You take a small winner here, going from expansion to contraction. Then we're kind of in no man's land. You could hold it to yellow. Again, day trading, I would just use expansion to contraction. Here flips red again. Now you're making money to the downside. Let me go find a penny stock. Again, I don't trade penny stocks often, but I did notice they're pretty nuts on penny stocks.
I don't know if you can do it while you're looking, but people are just kind of asking for a basic idea of what Newton is, how it works, how it's different from Apex.
Oh, I mean, you probably have to go watch
not really comparable.
It's completely different. I know that you jumped on a little bit late, Dave, but I rebuilt the whole thing for them.
Okay.
Using the EMAs, everything. So
I'm just going by what's in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Check out the recording, guys. Apex is using price action on weekly charts specifically to give us entries and exits. Each individual ticker has its own unique rules on what it needs to have to give us an entry and the profit target stop loss as well. Newton is just using EMAs as a basis to then find the expansion for that stock on when to enter and exit. All right, so here you can see BTBT, penny stock. Look at this. Green, it flips red right here, which is funny. I said that around 10 o'clock, the markets were saying, hey, gold's negative, everything's negative. You might want to go short today. Look at BTBT. Red, down, down, down. This stock is actually up on the day, and you still could have made money to the downside. All right, again, so my point here isn't to go willy-nilly crazy day trading with it, unless you want to. Again, I'm not a huge day trader. I do the 60-minute income trade. It's a mechanical trade every morning. I'm not speculating, but I have noticed that this can be very, very good, very, very powerful for day trading. Look at this. Stock moving higher today. Look at Oklo. Flips green right here, 1035. Stock's moving higher. Markets are going down. So it's counter trend move there, but still picking it up. Anyways, that's my whole spiel there on the day trading. I wish I could tell you I'm a pro scalper of the markets. I'm not, but I have a good time with it. So here's some other examples. You can see like AVGO, flip green, EQ2, ISRG, couple opportunities there. You get the point. Same thing. If it's bearish, we just flip it to the downside. Option selection. I got to fly through this. I just realized I ate all my time up here. Number one, favorite way to trade options. Again, I love to use the wrap order. If we're talking about swing trading here, like we did on AMD just a moment ago, I just use the weekly expirations and I just do it over and over and over and over again as long as the momentum is positive. Number two favorite way to do it is elite options. That's just a little bit out of the money where we're going for slightly bigger returns. And especially on stocks that are very, very strong and have a high level of confidence, and probably more volatile stocks in the sense like NVIDIA is a little more volatile than O'Reilly. We talked about that at the beginning. If you got a little more volatility, typically going slightly out of the money can actually do a little bit better risk to reward for you. Of course, we have the recordings here for you. If you just want to do the basic calls and puts, again, 1 to 2 strikes out of the money. I technically would like to go 1 strike in the money, but that gets very expensive. I know not everyone likes that. So if you want the cheaper version, 1 to 2 strikes out of the money, 60 to 90 days till expiration, puts you at a 0.4, 0.5 delta. Again, for day trades, though, I would use the shortest time frame options, but I would use probably a minimum 3 days till expiration. You can definitely use 0 DTE, but that's just going to be crazy leverage. If it doesn't work out, you're going to go to 0 real fast. If it does work out, you could go crazy high, but if you want to have a little less volatility, use 3 DTE. And speaking of high momentum assets, and a lot of you guys asked about it today, we do have our Apex trades going out tomorrow, which is not quite the same as Newton. Hopefully we can all see that at the end of this class here. And I'm going to answer some questions, but we will go ahead and show you guys the Apex here at the end, I believe, Dave, or unless we're doing the 60-minute.
No, we got Apex. I'm ready to go.
All right, Apex here at the end so that you guys can get the trades for tomorrow. Again, we're not actively promoting Newton right now, so if you want to, you can go get that link in the chat. If we can just repost it again. I just want to make sure people have it. If you want it, no pressure. Again, I gave you guys the ingredients. I served it up in a bowl for you. If you want to, you can mix it yourself and cook those chocolate bars. But if you just want it all in on that already, if you want it all done for you, it's right there on the order form. But Noon's a great way to trade high momentum. If you guys want to trade high conviction price action, again, using those weekly charts, which I told you weekly charts are probably the highest conviction charts on the planet. Most people don't even talk about them. We have trades each and every Friday. NVIDIA was our most recent one. That one's up about 80% for us. If you did the max ROI spread, it's probably up a bit more. The really cool thing about Apex, kind of like I showed you here at the beginning with the on-the-clock stocks, is it will go pick all the options for you, get it all done for you. It's really, really awesome. Cool tool. And we do have a special going on it right now. Price is going to go up. So just stick around, stay tuned, check that out. I'll be in the chat here to answer some questions. But other than that, let's have a great rest of our Thursday. I'll see you at 3:30 p.m. We're going to have a special guest on who's actually been doing shotgun trades on his own and has his own little strategy for him. So I'm going to ask, it's Kane. I'm going to ask Kane what he's been doing on Thursdays, and we're going to take some free trades together. All right, cool. See you then.
I think you guys probably know about this because we talked about it opening Playbook. When Graham and I were meeting in Jacksonville, Florida, that was with our team. We had people from all over come, and a large part of what we focused on was the technology breakthrough that we're really experiencing with the investment that we have in AI. You guys might know that we spent like over $300,000 as a company just on AI and data and things like that, trying to leverage everything we can. And, you know, now I think what we've done is kind of double leverage what we consider to be one of the best kept stock market secrets of this generation. And this is a pricing anomaly. You might know a little bit of what we're talking about, but we'll get in here in the details. Basically, what it does, it unlocks a vault on unique blueprints for trading many of our favorite stocks, Graham and I's favorite stocks, the ones that we believe continually have the best potential. So we're talking about unleashing an automated trading program that gives us exact historical win rate, profit factor, target, and stop loss before you're even setting up the trade, plus the exact options to take as well on those trades. And it's all thanks to this, like I was saying, the AI and the technology we built. This is about 7,628 characters of growing code that we're still optimizing right now. And it's going to provide not just those instantaneous alerts that, most of which are 80+%, 90+%. I think 2 are still at 100% accuracy over the years based on using their specific blueprint. But it's going to do it in real time for you and show you all the data that goes with it. Like 108% on Apple here, 159% on Amazon here, 378%. Oh man, I love Meta. What a beast that stock is going to be, I think, if we get the mount up that we expect. And so, you probably heard us. We call this development breakthrough the Apex software. It's all based on Graham's core Apex strategy.
Yeah, but it's the new name now, the Apex software. You guys will see why here in a second because it's been upgraded.
Yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a few stocks to the buy signal from the Apex software with their verified accuracy and profit factor, again, for free because you guys are members and you're here on a Sunday night. And so you can take some trades that are good for today on the house, maybe, when the market opens tomorrow. And then if you stick around, we're going to cover a good bit more. We have a major surprise coming for you guys here in the next couple of minutes. But before we get there, Graham, why don't you actually walk through how this works and just how big of an upgrade that we've made?
Yeah, Nate, I'd love to. And we'll kind of unfold it as we get going. But let's start here with what you see on the chart. Here is the basis, the backbone of the Apex software. And as you can see, it's really not complex to look at, which is how I designed it. All we do is wait for that bright blue up arrow at the end of the week. And if that pops up there and looks good to you, you can place a trade. That's a verified entry for us. Now, if you can handle that, if you can spot a blue arrow on a chart, you're already halfway there because all that's next is knowing when to exit the trade. And after analyzing the price action, the Apex software automatically prints the profit targets and stop losses on the chart for us. So that profit target's up there in the blue line and the stop loss is there in the red line. And now I'm going to do a little spoiler here. With the new upgrade version, you also get the exact price points listed above the chart as well. I'll show you that here in a moment. But my point is we're never left trading without the exact blueprint of the stock. Now, this chart here that I just showed you was on Apple. And in the case of Apple, every time this bright blue arrow has shown up on the chart, every time it's done it in the past, Apple has moved higher with a historic 88.3% win rate and 2.98 profit factor. Now, of course, with the Apex software in your toolbox, you would have known that in advance. So you could have followed along and placed a quick trade on Apple with a very high degree of confidence. And as you can see, it nailed it right away there in the next candle. hitting the profit target. Now, with the options that I prefer to use, the options that are now going to be automated for you, so no more guessing, it's all done for you. Well, this could have been 122% ROI in your pocket. So that'd be like putting $1,000 into the trade and walking away with $2,226 the very next week. But as great as it would have been to bag that triple-digit winner on Apple, that's not even close to the best part. You see, these highly accurate signals, they don't happen on Apple every once in a blue moon. They happen all the time. You can see here, time and time again. In fact, I love it when they line up like that. Now, that gives us countless opportunities to trade Apple with an incredible 88.3% historic win rate over and over again. And that's how some of my top students have already been able to see some incredible success from Apple by using the buy signals built into the Apex software. Like Kay here, he said, keep the winning streak going. He made over 100% on Apple 3 times in a row. I wonder if he just traded this 1, 2, 3,
Exactly.
3 times in a row. Marco said Apple took the trade a few and 100% wins. Keep doing what you know best, trading. And then Howard said, got in on Apple at 88 cents, still holding at 277. That's up 214%. That's $1,200 for Howard. Carson said, keep them coming, made $2,000 on the Apple trades. And as much as I'd love to sit here and talk about Apple for the next 30 minutes, and by the way, that didn't make the list today, but it probably should have. I really like Apple.
We nailed Apple since that, that July call where we both were pretty aggressive on it.
Yeah, well, as much as we would love to talk about it for the next 30 minutes, we've got so much more in store for you today.